Together, making Las Vegas a better place to live.
Right now on Action News, Road to the White House, a live report on the candidates' battleground blitz on the eve of this presidential election. Straight ahead.
Sandy's snowball effect. The superstorm has some polling place changes. See what that could mean for voter turnout.
Locals to Long Island. Some utility workers from right here in southern Nevada are heading east to help those who are still in the dark. We've got details on that coming up. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to Action News this morning, the fastest way to start your day. I'm Lisa Remillard.
And I'm Casey Smith. Good Monday morning to you. It is November 5th, 4:30 a.m. We'll have weather and traffic in just a moment, but first.
Red, white, and blue 2012. We begin this Monday morning with the final few hours of Campaign 2012.
The candidates will focus today on a handful of battleground states that are expected to decide the outcome of the election, although we might know by Wednesday morning.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. This race is about this close right now. ABC's TJ Winnick is live in Chicago.
Good morning. Election day may not be until tomorrow, but 27 million Americans have already cast their vote. A sign of how close the Obama campaign believes this could be, the president appeared in New Hampshire, which only has 4 electoral votes.
We're no longer relevant now. We're props. Because what's happened is now the campaign falls on these 25-year-old kids who are out there knocking on doors and making phone calls.
There, he was joined by Bill Clinton, who mocked Mitt Romney's pitch.
Don't pay too much attention to what our solutions are. Just be disappointed and look at me. I look like a president. And I talk like one. And I'm telling you, it's all going to be all right if you elect me.
With one day to go until the election, the candidates crisscross the battleground states. Governor Romney, 14 stops in 7 states. President Obama, 14 stops in 8 states. Both claim victory is within reach.
He's hoping we'll settle. Americans don't settle. We build, we aspire, we dream, we can do better.
Romney is even making a play for traditionally Democratic Pennsylvania. The candidates and their running mates all made stops in the critical battleground state of Ohio. That, along with Iowa and Wisconsin, are expected to decide the race.
If President Obama can win these 3, on top of the solid blue states Democrats have taken in the last several elections, he'll have the 271 electoral votes he needs to win, even if Governor Romney sweeps all the rest of the battleground states.
According to the latest ABC News Washington Post poll, this presidential race is essentially deadlocked, with the president holding a 49 to 48% lead over Mitt Romney among likely voters. Reporting live in Chicago this morning, TJ Winnick, ABC News. Now back to you.
All right, thank you, TJ.
Looks like it's cold in Chicago. No such problem here, although it's a little chilly, isn't it, Mike?
I don't know that I've ever seen a hat like that on an anchor, but that's okay. If it's chilly. 4:33 is the time. It's going to be another beauty year of the valley. It's hard to live in the Garden of Eden, at least weather-wise. 58 degrees at McCarran right now, 53 in Mesquite, 62 in Pahrump, and a warm 71 degrees in Laughlin. We're off to a much warmer start than we were yesterday at this time, and I think we'll be off to a finish that is a little bit warmer as well. 81 was our high yesterday, 84 the high today. Lots of sunshine, light winds, but cooler air is coming our way. That plus election weather in just a little bit. But now at 4:33, you problem solve the traffic.
All right, thank you, Mike. We start things off at the Spaghetti Bowl right now. You can see a few cars on the road, but nothing to worry about there. Over to the 215 at St. Rose, you can see everything very normal for this Monday morning. Republican vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan will make one final swing through this Silver State. He'll be in Reno this morning for a victory event at the airport. The event is set to start just after 9 a.m. Ryan will also swing through Colorado, Iowa, Ohio, and Wisconsin before day's end. Mitt Romney's son Craig will make a stop in southern Nevada today as well. He'll speak at a victory rally at the GOP presidential candidate's East Las Vegas campaign office. That event is set to begin just after 2:30. Then Craig Romney will head to the Henderson headquarters for a rally that starts just before 5 p.m. Vice President Joe Biden is predicting a big victory for himself and President Obama. Biden told a news outlet yesterday that the Democratic ticket would win Ohio. It's probably the most critical battleground state in this closely fought election. Biden also says Democrats have an even chance of winning Florida and Virginia. The vice president and his wife Jill will actually be in Virginia today, too, holding election eve rallies.
But some people will not be voting at their usual polling places back east. Voting areas will be moved and/or combined in parts of New York City tomorrow because of damage caused by Superstorm Sandy. Millions in the boroughs of the Big Apple still don't have power. Election officials say they're worried about turnout because most storm victims are more focused on cleanup than voting. It looks more crowded on the New York City transit system this morning, too. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is warning everyone they should expect bigger crowds, including students who will go back to school this morning. Cuomo says the service is getting better, but there's still more work to be done. There's also another storm heading towards New York and New Jersey, and that's about the last thing those people need. The National Weather Service says an offshore storm that could pack winds up to 55 miles an hour could hit Wednesday. Meteorologists call it a classic nor'easter coming up along the Atlantic seaboard. It's not predicted to be as strong as Sandy, but could make digging out much worse. The Weather Service says the strongest winds will probably hit eastern Long Island.
A Las Vegas woman who found herself in the eye of the hurricane last week is thankful to be back home this morning. Maria Rita Velez and many who lived near her family's Staten Island home were left without electricity or running water for days.
It was like walking through a war zone. It looked like somebody threw a bomb in Midland Beach and blew the whole place up.
Velez was supposed to return home last Wednesday. She finally made it back to the valley over the weekend after 3 canceled flights. Her family says they couldn't be happier to have her home. Ahead today, a local utility company is sending crews to help restore power to areas affected by Hurricane Sandy. Yesterday, 2 crews from NV Energy prepared their trucks and equipment for a trip to Long Island, New York. The storm caused more than 1 million power outages. 7 trucks and 11 people from southern Nevada will help restore power. The United States Air Force will be transporting them and their equipment from Nellis Air Force Base this morning by cargo plane. The final plane will take off just after 8 a.m. Also looking ahead today, Justin Caramonica, the driver accused in the death of Faith Love, will learn his fate.
The 12-year-old Love was hit and killed Halloween night 2011 while she was trick-or-treating in Summerlin. Caramonica pleaded guilty to that DUI crash. He's scheduled to be sentenced this morning. 4:37, Action News this morning is just getting started. The nanny suspected in the stabbings of 2 New York City children has been charged. Those details ahead.
Plus, an elderly woman who died in a weekend blaze is being remembered by her neighbors. We'll tell you what they're saying.
This building's utility bills for the past 6 months have been more than $100,000, but nobody works here. Oh, and you paid for it.
Would you say to the taxpayers, sorry, but you have no choice?
Action News live at 11 Monday.
Action News and Nevada Coin and Jewelry want to put you on Easy Street for a month by paying your rent or mortgage. To enter, type in ktnv.com/win from any tablet, smartphone, or PC, or sign up on our Facebook page. Then watch Action News live at 11 each night to see if you win. Daily winners get a $100 cash card. One winner each week gets their rent or mortgage paid. Remember, enter each day and you could soon find yourself on Easy Street, all thanks to your friends here at Action News.
Good morning again, 4:40 on your Monday morning. A nanny has been charged with murder in the stabbing deaths of 2 kids in New York City last month. 50-year-old Yoselin Ortega was charged while she was still in a hospital bed. She's recovering from what police call self-inflicted stab wounds. The children's mother says she found them stabbed to death in a bathtub in their Manhattan apartment. Police are still not releasing a motive.
Notorious gangster Whitey Bulger was rushed from a jail cell to the Boston hospital. That's according to the Massachusetts officials. They say the 83-year-old mobster was hospitalized yesterday after complaining about chest pains in prison. Bulger is awaiting trial on allegations he played a role in 19 murders. The former leader of the Winter Hill Gang left Boston in 1994. Bulger was finally caught last year in California after many years in hiding. No word on his medical condition this morning. The victim of a deadly fire in the valley is being remembered this morning as a woman with a big heart.
It happened at an apartment complex near Tropicana and Jones over the weekend. Neighbors say the woman was in her 80s, was wheelchair bound, and didn't have a mean bone in her body.
She had to use like a walker to walk, and then it took her like a long time to get from the living room to her room.
You think maybe that's why she couldn't make it out last night?
Yeah.
The woman's identity is expected to be released by the Clark County Coroner's Office sometime this week. The cause of the blaze is still under investigation.
Time now is 4:41. Cutting out cursive. One school district plans to do away with that particular way of writing, and students have a lot to say about it. We'll hear from some of them coming up.
Equations equal headaches. That's the case for some, at least when it comes to math. We'll tell you why facts and figures can cause physical pain. Next.
Well, welcome to Monday. It's going to be another beautiful day in the Valley. 4:45 is now your time. Just clicked off on that fashion there. And hope your clocks are up to date and everything's good in your house because, you know, we're an hour behind where we were before. Okay, relatively clear skies, just a few high clouds out there this morning. Here are your temps now. 58 degrees at McCarran, 39. Lee Canyon, just a few high clouds. 62 degrees, Pahrump, 49. Indian Springs, 73 in Laughlin, and 55 degrees in Mesquite. Lots of sunshine today. That won't be a problem. Light winds. A little warmer than yesterday, 79. Our noontime temp today, and then 84 eventually for the afternoon high. It was 81 yesterday. Lots of sunshine as high pressure sits atop us. Nice little offshore flow and play for the coast, and that means nice weather here as well. By later this week, though, big changes coming weather-wise as a steep drop in the jet stream or trough of low pressure pushes through, and this may bring some rain and even cooler temperatures to the area. 59 degrees tonight, 81 tomorrow, still beautiful. Wednesday night, lots of sunshine, 79. Thursday, a couple of clouds, gets breezy, 76. Here comes that big system working through now on Friday with a chance for showers in the valley and maybe some snow up in the mountains. Cooler and windy conditions, 58 Saturday. We do clear off on the backside of that system. And then Sunday and Monday, lots of sunshine, temps in the upper 50s on Sunday and then upper 60s on Monday. 4:46 at the time. Lisa, I've been waiting to say this all weekend long.
Yeah, tell me what.
Now, you know that I love you and love working with you as a coworker.
Yes.
But I'm not going to profess my love.
Yes,
Ready?
but?
1, 2, 3. Otta Gundam style.
Oh, is that what your daughter's been doing all
I've
weekend?
been doing that all week long with my daughter. All week. I just cannot stop doing that. Otta Gundam style.
What is that?
The Gangnam Style. The Gangnam Style. The dance.
Oh.
Have you been dancing too?
No.
No?
But I've been going, Otta Gundam style. I just can't stop doing it. It just makes me laugh.
Well, I'm glad you're keeping yourself occupied and thinking of
Yes.
me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mike.
All right. Hike.
All right. Looking for a break this fall?
Let us help. We're giving away stay and play packages.
Yeah, winners get a one-night stay at a station casino, including buffet for two. You can also win a Freddy card worth $100 at any Fabulous Freddy.
Very easy. Just text the word locals to 61749 and click on contest at ktnv.com. We'll start calling winners in just about 30 minutes. Okay, problem solver traffic. Let's go outside, see what's going on. Actually, not much at the airport connector. This is a good time to get going if you have to go through the airport and if your travels take you either to and from Henderson. The next camera we will show you is 15 in Charleston, where it's really actually pretty sparse out there too at 447. So right now everything clean and green. Topping other headlines this morning, a 2-year-old boy died after he fell into an exhibit at the Pittsburgh Zoo and was attacked by wild dogs. It happened yesterday morning. His mother picked him up and put him on top of a viewing deck railing. He fell in the exhibit and was attacked and mauled by 11 wild African dogs. Authorities aren't sure if the dogs killed him or the 14-foot fall did. The zoo is closed until further notice. A storied U.S. Navy vessel is docked for good. The nation's oldest active duty warship, the USS Enterprise, is at its home port in Norfolk, Virginia this morning. The world's first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier will never move under its own power again. It will eventually be scrapped in Washington State, that is. The Enterprise will officially become inactive December 1st. And politics will permeate Monday Night Football. President Obama and Republican challenger Mitt Romney will both have taped interviews that will air during the Philadelphia Eagles-New Orleans Saints game. They will both run at halftime.
With the use of computers these days, the handwritten word to some seems obsolete. And for school kids in Missouri, it looks like they don't have a choice. The district says they may step away from students learning how to write in cursive. They say technology has made the practice obsolete and students have really mixed feelings about it.
I like writing my name in cursive,
and I wouldn't be able to know how for my 3rd and 4th grade teachers.
You don't usually need it because if you order something online, you don't need cursive.
Cursive used to be the way that you wrote formally. We don't do that anymore. Now you type papers, now you email, you communicate in a way that's through text. So I think that we should be pushing new ways like typing, touch typing.
Wow, the voice of youth. No word on when a final decision could be made. All right, many students say math is a pain of sorts, a brain strain, if you will. A new study proves that's actually true. Researchers at the University of Chicago found people who solve tough math equations showed the same brain activity linked to sensations of pain. The activity was even greater for people who admit to having a fear of math. So fearful that in your brain, it registers the same as pain.
So now we have 2 excuses to cut class. Writing cursive and doing math.
Right.
Great. You didn't hear it here. 4:50 now, keeping up with Kimmel. How would you like to own one of Jimmy's most prized possessions? His desk is going to the highest bidder. We'll explain after the break.
Don't you wish your dress could show your tweets? Up next, we'll show you a Pussycat Doll's glamorous gown with a tech twist.
Take Action News with you everywhere. Get your free iPhone app in the App Store today.
Former Pussycat doll Nicole Scherzinger has unveiled a glamorous gown with a dash of social media. It's topping our trending stories at 4:53. Check it out. Scherzinger unveiled the first ever tweet dress in London over the weekend. It's made of French silk chiffon, features 500 crystals and over 2,000 LED lights, which light up to show tweets sent by her fans. The star says it's perfect to have technology combined with her fabulous wardrobe. All right, are you in the market for a new desk? Why not take Jimmy Kimmel's? The late-night host is auctioning off his desk to raise cash for Superstorm Sandy relief efforts. The custom-made Brooklyn-themed desk is signed by the comedian, as well as David Letterman, Comedy Central star Stephen Colbert, and Jon Stewart. You can make your bid on the desk at CharityBuzz.com. The auction closes November 14th.
Speaking of Jimmy Kimmel, some parents played a trick on their kids during Halloween.
I love when they do this. They told the kids that they ate all their Halloween candy and then sent the video into Jimmy. Here you go.
I have to tell you something. Last night when you were in bed,
Yeah?
Daddy and I ate all your candy.
What? Did you, suckers?
Yes. Okay, I have another confession to make.
No!
I was just...
We ate all your Halloween candy.
I love when they do that. That's awesome. You know, don't mess with the kids like that. The poor things, they fall on the floor, they run away.
Oh, boy, I wonder how they reacted when they found out it was a lie.
Yeah. All right, you can catch Jimmy every weeknight at 12:05, right after Nightline. Tonight's guest, Jerry O'Connell, Russell Peters, and musical guest, Prince. Time now is 4:55.
Beth Fisher has a look at what we're working for Action News at 5 a.m. Beth?
Makes me want to do that to my kids just to see how they'll react, you
right?
guys. That
hilarious.
Funny stuff. All right, coming up for you at 5, mending a broken heart. That is exactly how a group of people in Southern Nevada are making Las Vegas a better place to live. Plus, helping those in need. Some folks from here in the Valley are heading to the East Coast right now to help people affected by Superstorm Sandy. We're live with the role they're going to play. And a chopper crash. The search for a missing child ends with 2 officers dead. Now federal authorities are probing into exactly what happened. We'll have details on all of these stories coming up for you on Action News at 5.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Glenn Lerner & Associates.
Glenn Lerner is the way to go. Call 877-1500.
Right now on Action News Now, this is it. A very long election season is about to come to a close.
For those of you or your friends or your neighbors who are still trying to make up their minds, This is not just a choice between two candidates or two parties. It's a choice between two different visions of America.
I'm Lisa Remillard. Coming up, how the candidates are spending the last day of campaigning.
Reaching out. Some NV Energy employees are going back east to help get the lights back on. More than 1 million people are still without power or heat 1 week after Superstorm Sandy. I'm Casey Smith. We're live with their mission.
Second wave. People recovering from that meningitis outbreak have something new to worry about this morning. I'm Beth Fisher. Find out what's making them sick all over again.
Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to Action News this morning, the fastest way to start your day.
You could call today Election Eve. We should know, but we might not, who will be the next president of the United States tomorrow night. The polls are pointing to a very close race.
And that is why this morning, both candidates are working so hard to secure those last-minute votes. Both President Obama and Mitt Romney are focusing their resources on battleground states where both candidates are running neck and neck. Of course, Nevada is one of those swing states.
Sure, and the polling numbers are so close. I mean, within a percentage point, all of them in the margin of error. It's, as we've been talking about, it's going to be very difficult.
This could be the closest in history.
It's going to be very difficult to decide that night who our president will be on Wednesday morning. Right now, we go to ABC's Tamon Bradley in Boston.
Good morning. Today is the final day of campaigning, and both sides think they can win. President Obama spends the day focused on 3 crucial Midwest states, while Mitt Romney hits up 5 states today. Republican challenger Mitt Romney is closing the campaign, promising voters bipartisanship and real change.
I'll endeavor to find those good men and women on both sides of the aisle who care more about the country than they do about politics.
With polls showing the race a dead heat, the Romney campaign is focused on turnout. At this field office in Battleground, Ohio, volunteers call a list of voters they believe lean Republican, while other supporters knock on doors in search of people still undecided.
I haven't made up my mind yet.
The Romney campaign believes enthusiasm among its base and strength with independents will carry them to victory tomorrow. But there's still the reality of the math. Without Ohio, Romney's path to victory is difficult. That's why he's making a late play for Pennsylvania, traditionally Democratic turf. President Obama, meanwhile, spends his day focusing on 3 states the campaign hopes will be his firewall: Iowa, Wisconsin, and Ohio. If Mr. Obama can win these 3 states, that would give him 271 electoral votes, 1 more than needed to win a second term. Mitt Romney holds his final campaign event tonight in New Hampshire, where he'll be joined by his wife Ann and rocker Kid Rock. After that, Romney heads here to Boston for the big day tomorrow. Reporting live in Boston, Tamon Bradley, ABC News. Now back to you.
Tamon, thank you. Be sure to stay with Channel 13 Action News for complete election coverage tomorrow night.
It's time now to head over to Mike Tsolinas with your weather first forecast. Mike.
Thank you, Lisa. 5:02 is the time after an absolutely fantastic weekend. I think it's going to be another beautiful Monday here for us. Right now, just a couple of high clouds, 58 degrees at McCarran, 60 in Pahrump, 73 degrees in Laughlin. Later today, it's pure sunshine, relatively light winds, 79 by lunchtime. And then 84 for the afternoon high, which is above normal for this time of the year. However, a big cool down and maybe even a little valley rain and mountain snow is headed our way. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Now your problem solver traffic.
Thank you, Mike Tsolinas. Taking a look out at the roadways this morning at 5:03 in the morning. A lot of traffic out there for this early in the morning. At I-15 in Bonneville, though, everything's moving along just fine. Taking a look on the east side at 215 in Eastern. Nice and quiet. Keep it right here on Action News. If there's anything you need to worry about before you head out, we'll be sure and let you know.
To the eastern seaboard, where more bad weather is on the way, people all along the East Coast still picking up after Superstorm Sandy as a nor'easter bears down on them. The new storm is following Sandy's path and should make landfall Wednesday. That could bring 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts and 2 to 4 inches of rain to the 5 boroughs of New York City. Damage is expected to be minimal, but it will probably put Sandy recovery efforts on hold. Gasoline shortages are still a huge problem back east, too, but a little relief has come in. New truckloads of gas have been brought in by the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The main priority is to fill up first response vehicles. Civilians are limited to 10 gallons at a time. There are only 10 FEMA fill-up sites, so most people are still waiting in line for hours. Emergency officials say they expect the situation to get better in the next few days.
A crew from right here in southern Nevada is on its way to help the East Coast. NV Energy workers and equipment are on board a military transport plane right now.
Action News reporter Michaela Zerd is live at Nellis Air Force Base where the team took off overnight.
That's right, Lisa and Beth. 3 NV Energy power crews are headed over to the East Coast to help millions of people get power back. We have millions over there that do not have power still over on the East Coast. It's been almost a week for them. A crew of 5 already left this morning, and we're waiting here with the second plane. It will leave around 8 o'clock. 2 more crews will leave today. We were here as they filled a C-17 cargo plane with equipment. The NV Energy crews will land at JFK and head to Long Island, where they will work for about a week on power restoration. The pilot taking these crews to New York said to us he's honored to help out in any way he can.
It's heartwarming. I'm originally from New Orleans, so Hurricane Katrina was something that affected my family, so being able to go help people that were affected by a hurricane is something that's very important to me.
And as I said, we have a second cargo plane right here ready to load up. It just landed about 5 minutes ago. They'll be filling it with power trucks, as you see here, and other equipment ready to take over to the East Coast, is ready, as well as a crew of 4 to 5 NV Energy technicians, and then another plane will leave this afternoon. So we'll be out here all morning. Hopefully we'll get a chance to see this plane take off live on the air. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Michaela. We'll be looking out for that. The driver accused in the death of Faith Love will learn his fate in just a matter of hours. Love is the 12-year-old girl who was killed on Halloween of last year in Summerlin. She was trick-or-treating with friends when she was hit by a car. Justin Caramonica has pleaded guilty to driving under the influence on that night. He'll be sentenced later this morning.
We have an Action News update now on a couple of stories that we've been following for you. First, the New York nanny accused of killing the 2 young children in her care has been arrested. Police say Yoselin Ortega tried to kill herself after stabbing the 2 kids. They arrested her at the hospital where she's recovering. Investigators are still searching for a motive. People recovering from that meningitis outbreak are now facing a new horrible problem. As if the threat of developing meningitis from tainted steroid shots wasn't enough, some people have now developed an infection at the injection site. This morning, some of the victims are back in the hospital for treatment and surgery.
Thanks, Beth. 5:07 Action News this morning is just getting started. Up next.
Under investigation, fire rips through a Valley apartment complex, and when the smoke clears, a woman is found dead. Coming up, what neighbors think led to her being trapped.
Officers down. The search for a missing child ends with 2 police officers dead. The latest on the investigation into what caused the chopper to come crashing down when we come back.
This building's utility bills for the past 6 months have been more than $100,000, but nobody works here. Oh, and you paid for it.
Would you say to the taxpayers, sorry, but you have no choice?
Action News live at 11 tonight after Castle.
Welcome back. The victim of a deadly fire in the valley is being remembered this morning as a woman with a big heart. The fire happened at an apartment complex near Tropicana and Jones over the weekend. Neighbors say the woman who was found dead was in her 80s and wheelchair bound. They think that might be why she didn't make it out alive. The Clark County coroner is expected to release her identity sometime this week. The cause of that fire is still under investigation.
Federal authorities are investigating a helicopter crash that left 2 Atlanta police officers dead. The officers were searching for a missing child. Witnesses say the helicopter was flying low when it suddenly went down Saturday night.
Anytime I get a call late at night, it's always a tragic situation. And so it's always take that deep breath, pray, and hope for the best. And so that's where we were tonight. That's where we continue to be.
Boy, that was a sincere response from a chief of police, wasn't it? The Federal Aviation Administration and National Transportation Safety Board are trying to figure out what happened.
The gunman who opened fire at a crowded fair in Georgia is still on the loose. No one was killed, but 7 people had to be rushed to the hospital. Police say the biggest issue was crowd control when hundreds of people tried to leave the fairgrounds when the shooting started. Officers questioned several people, but no one was detained.
Time now is 5:12.
Big business. Straight ahead, Hurricane Sandy will cost big bucks, but she's also creating big business. We're going to tell you how.
Less pain at the pump. Gas prices are on the way down. We'll find out why and what you can expect if you're traveling during the holidays.
And what's your name? What's Flo? And what do you do? Oh, I sell insurance like no one else. Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
It's time to stay and play with Action News this morning.
The fastest way to start your day.
All winners get one night plus a buffet for two at one of the amazing Station Casinos hotels featuring the boarding pass. For fun, food, entertainment, and more, there's a Station Casinos hotel near you. Plus a Freddie card good for $100 in gas, grub, and more at Fabulous Freddy's.
For your chance to win, text locals to 61749 or enter on our website, then watch us each morning. If you see your name, call within 30 minutes and claim your prize.
Stay and play with Action News this morning.
Outside right now, 5:16 is your time on an absolutely delightful Monday morning. And happy November 5th to you. Gosh, the election is tomorrow, and we're going to have nice weather here. And then after that, we won't have to hear all those political commercials. Although they pay our bills nicely, don't they? Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22 if you work at TV. Outside right now, here's what we have for you. 63 degrees at McCarran, 61 in Brum. That's up 5 degrees, by the way, at McCarran from last hour when we were at 58 degrees. 73 in Laughlin and 53 degrees in Mesquite. I think we'll see lots of sunshine. That won't be the problem today. Light winds, 79 by lunchtime, and then 84 for our afternoon high today. High pressure's in play. This is keeping an offshore flow in place for us, and thus, ergo, if you may, lots of sunshine. So it's going to be a nice day for us. However, a big weekend cool down is coming our way. Let me show you what's going to happen here. 59 tonight, 81 tomorrow, lovely sunshine, and then 79 on Wednesday. Thursday, we start to cloud over as this big trough approaches. It gets windy out there, 76. Now, Friday, there's a chance for a shower or two in the valley, maybe even a little light mountain snow. Doesn't look like it's going to be a lot of rain, just the cooler temperatures and windy. Look at the temps now, dropping 21 degrees by Friday. And then 58 on Saturday, windy, breezy, chilly, maybe a shower in the morning, a little snow in the mountains in the morning, and then clearing off to pure sunshine. And quickly, temperatures jump from 58 on Sunday to 68 on Monday. Election day weather around the United States, really the only problems would be up in the Great Lakes, and it's not terribly bad. Wet with some storms in the southeast. Now, in the south and east, the system that will bring them some rain will eke up the east coast and become a nor'easter, but that's not until later in the week. So election day should be okay in the middle Atlantic states and northeast. 5:18 is your time.
Yeah, those people don't need anything else to worry about.
I was going to say that if they can get to the polls.
You see what Chris Christie said? We're going old school. We're going pencils and paper.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
Do what you got to do, right?
We're going old school.
Yes, thank you, Mike.
Okay.
It is time to give away some staycations that include one night at a Station Casinos hotel with buffet for two, plus a Freddie card worth $100 at all Fabulous Freddy's locations.
Here we go. First names of the week: Sherry Fields, Tamika Holiday, Maria Hernandez. You each have 30 minutes to call 876-1301 and claim your prize.
If you haven't entered your name yet, just text the word locals to 61749, or you can enter on our website. More names will be called in just about a half hour. All right, let's take a look at your problem solver traffic right now. We want to start things out with the 215 at Gibson, which shows you a nice clear picture of the roads, but absolutely no problems there. Over to the 15 at Desert Inn, shows you the traffic is picking up, but it's still moving smoothly.
5:19 is the time.
It's a smash. A destructive debut tops the weekend box office. See how much Wreck-It Ralph raked in America's money.
And don't forget to get breaking news wherever you are. Download our mobile app, KTNV Mobile. It's available in the Google Play Store and iTunes, and for Blackberries, you can catch up on the day's news and watch segments from our newscast.
Action News This Morning continues.
More space, bigger windows, an entertainment system in every seat on your next flight. It could happen if you book a flight on a Boeing Dreamliner. It was a couple of years behind schedule, but Finally, the massive passenger plane has completed its first domestic test flight. United Airlines completed the flight from Houston to Chicago over the weekend. The Dreamliner will be used for daily flights from Los Angeles to Japan starting in January. The jet is supposed to be 20% more fuel efficient compared to similarly sized planes.
Hey, this is sad. Superstorm Sandy claims another victim. The space shuttle prototype Enterprise survived piggybacking on a jumbo jet, but couldn't escape Sandy's wrath. The ship weathered the storm at the Intrepid Sea, Air and Space Museum in New York, but lost a piece from its tail. Museum officials say Enterprise will be repaired as soon as possible. The museum itself was also damaged in the storm and has been closed ever since. And I just tweeted out a picture of that damage.
5:24 now. Recovery from Sandy may have a hidden benefit, and the numbers have been pretty good at the box office lately. Here's ABC's Paula Ferris.
Good morning, everyone. Topping America's Money, a lift from Hurricane Sandy. The construction industry should get a boost from the rebuilding that follows the superstorm, and analysts say that, in turn, could raise U.S. economic growth a little early next year. The hurricane may also keep gas prices falling, although you wouldn't know it from the long gas lines. Demand actually decreased after the storm. Gas prices nationwide were down 7 cents in the past week, 31 cents from a month ago. The weekend box office also benefited from the superstorm with a strong opening for Wreck-It Ralph. Analysts say East Coast audiences were looking for distractions. Wreck-It Ralph, which like ABC News is part of Disney, took in $49 million. And it doesn't open in the U.S. till Friday, but the new James Bond film Skyfall has pulled in almost $300 million overseas, and it appears headed for a U.S. opening of more than $80 million. And that's America's Money. I'm Paula Ferris.
5:25 now.
Time is almost up. The election is tomorrow, and with the candidates' schedule so full, the whole team is out stumping for their man. We'll tell you who's on the campaign trail here in Nevada.
Deja vu? It's not a problem with hanging chads, but Florida is in the middle of voting problems again. Why early voting did not go as planned.
America's Money, brought to you by Macy's.
On Action News now, race to the finish. The presidential candidates are almost there as they get in some final campaigning. I'm Beth Fisher. You're electing the new president of the United States tomorrow.
Getting back on track. Another storm is brewing just 1 week after Superstorm Sandy slammed the East Coast. I'm Casey Smith. We'll have more on Mother Nature's 1-2 punch. Driving dangers.
A well-traveled area of the 15 is attracting attention for being one of the most dangerous stretches of road in the valley. And Lisa Remillard, what the NHP says can be done to make sure the 15 in Sahara stay safe for drivers. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to Action News this morning, the fastest way to start your day. We have 7 non-stop minutes of news, traffic, and weather for you.
Mike Tsolinas is in with weather first.
How about that weekend? Wasn't it gorgeous there?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
yes,
it was
fantastic.
I was watching all those balloons at Southern Hills yesterday morning. They were fantastic. Okay, outside, here's what we have for you. 63 degrees at McCarran. Temperature keeps going up. It was 58 degrees early this morning. 61 degrees in Pahrump and 52 degrees early this morning in Mesquite. Lots of sunshine, light winds today. We're all the way up to 84 for the day planning forecast high. Coming up, though, a huge drop in temperatures. In fact, almost 30 degrees. But by when? We'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's your problem solver traffic.
Thank you, Mike. It is 5:30, as you know. First full day, I guess, of Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. As we go to the roads, the Spaghetti Bowl starting to clog up just a little bit. This morning, 215 in Green Valley Parkway, though, is okay. We really have no other problems on the roads, so to speak. So keep it up.
One man is behind bars, another fighting for his life after a shootout at a North Las Vegas apartment complex. Police were called to the apartments near Gowan and Clayton at about 1:30 this morning. Witnesses say the two men just started shooting at each other. No one else was hurt, and police are investigating.
Red, White, and Blue 2012. We're in the final 48 hours, or 36 hours, if you will, of campaign 2012. The major party presidential candidates and their running mates have a packed schedule of stops in this down-to-the-wire race. It's getting tougher for President Obama and Mitt Romney to sway undecided voters. More than 27 million Americans in 34 states and the District of Columbia voted early.
We're no longer relevant now. We're props. Because what's happened is now the campaign falls on these 25-year-old kids who are out there knocking on doors and making phone calls?
Romney has 14 stops planned in 7 states today. The president will be in 8 states.
With the race as tight as it is, even our 6 electoral votes are being courted by both candidates. We counted up more than 30 visits to the Silver State between the 2 campaigns in this last year, 21 here in southern Nevada. And our state is getting even more attention today. Republican vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan will be campaigning in Reno. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice stumped there on Saturday. Mitt Romney's son Craig will be holding rallies in Las Vegas and Henderson today. Yesterday, it was one of Romney's former primary challengers campaigning on his behalf in Summerlin. Texas Governor Rick Perry told supporters the Silver State could make the difference. He says the president's economic record is the reason he doesn't deserve a second term. Governor Perry was joined by California Congressman Kevin McCarthy. The pair assured supporters that under Mitt Romney, real change would begin on day 1.
I think the poll numbers look good. We're trending in the right direction, and it's up to the voters now just to make sure our team gets out there on Tuesday, and you know, Nevada may make the difference in the presidential election.
Early voting is over, of course, in our state. Numbers from the Secretary of State's office show Democrats outpaced Republicans by about 7%. Perry is urging Republicans who haven't voted yet to show up tomorrow and help close that gap.
You know, one of the things I'm really enjoying about this election season is that there is no way you can argue your vote doesn't matter. The race for president is anyone's game. The final NBC Wall Street Journal poll gave President Obama a 1-point lead. The latest CNN opinion research poll put the 2 candidates dead even. And the latest RealClearPolitics.com average of polls was as close as ever, with President Obama only up half a point over Mitt Romney. In Florida, voters didn't have as many days to cast early ballots, so the Democratic Party is suing. The party asked the federal court to step in, citing incredible voter turnout. On Sunday, the last day of early voting, several counties had to keep polling locations open as late as 1 a.m. because the voters just kept on coming. Democrats are suing because Florida recently reduced the number of early voting days from 14 down to 8.
A new problem for victims of Superstorm Sandy. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says that tens of thousands of people are going to need to be relocated as temperatures drop. 30 to 40,000 people could need housing help in New York City alone. That's not all. A strong nor'easter is on its way to the area, bringing strong wind and possible heavy rain. It's supposed to hit Wednesday. It's not expected to do much damage, but it could put a damper on Sandy recovery efforts. A lot of people are hoping the heat will be back on before that storm hits. That's why NV Energy crews are in a mad dash to the East Coast to help. A plane full of them took off from Nellis Air Force Base overnight. That's where Action News reporter Michaela Zern is live. Good morning, Michaela.
Good morning, Casey. Well, hopefully these crews will be able to help out before that next storm hits. NV Energy is sending 7 utility trucks over to the East Coast to assist in power restoration efforts. Millions are still dealing with outages. Now, in cooperation with the Air Force and FEMA, NV Energy is loading up 3 C-17 cargo planes this morning. They're transporting trucks, equipment, and crews to the devastated areas. The 11 technicians from southern Nevada will be hanging wire and getting power poles back up in Long Island. Crews will have to deal with extreme conditions, but say they're ready for anything, and safety is a top priority.
Yesterday, when they were staging over at our operations center, they are chomping at the bit to get back in and help these folks get back in power. They love this. This is what they do every day, and they take great pride in what they do.
Equipment is now being loaded up onto the second cargo plane here. We had one plane already leave this morning around 3 o'clock. Crews will be on the ground ready to start working this afternoon, and they will be in Long Island for at least a week, working to get that power restored and that heat back on for millions of people. Reporting live, Michaela Zern, Channel 13, Action News.
Thank you, Michaela. More evidence. Folks on the East Coast are getting a little closer to normalcy. NYU's medical center, which had to be evacuated during Sandy when backup generators failed, will be back open today. The emergency room is still not functioning, but it will reopen doctors' offices, outpatient procedures, and testing sites. There is no word yet on when it will be able to handle emergencies again. More locals are doing their part to help the victims of Sandy. The U.S. Coast Guard in Las Vegas spearheaded a blood drive yesterday, along with our local American Red Cross. They wanted to provide a way for locals to help out and help with the blood shortage. If you missed the blood drive, but you still want to help, we'll help you out with that. Go to our website, ktnv.com.
The next time you're traveling Interstate 15, be especially careful around the Sahara Avenue exit. It is dangerous. Action News found that the Nevada Highway Patrol responds to I-15 and Sahara more than any other area in the valley. Just in the past 4 months, NHP reports 309 accidents happened there. That's an average of nearly 3 crashes a day.
Drivers are just not paying attention when they come up there. They're approaching it way too fast, not realizing that traffic is going to slow down, and unfortunately that's where the accidents are occurring.
Well, we asked NHP if anything can be done to make that area safer, whether it be better signage or some sort of change to the road's layout. But troopers say it really is our responsibility. Drivers need to be more aware, more defensive, and more patient. That's hard for drivers to hear, isn't it?
Yeah.
Be patient.
But you have to. I mean, I saw so many accidents this weekend for some reason. They were
lives,
everywhere.
A lot of lives depend on it. That can be very rough.
Yeah, especially in that area. The time now is 5:38.
This is a rough story. Accident at the zoo. A fun day looking at the animals turned to a nightmare for one parent. I'll tell you how a little boy wound up at the bottom of an animal exhibit.
Healing hearts. Heart health isn't just an issue for the older set. We'll introduce you to a group that's helping kids with heart problems and making Las Vegas a better place to live.
Action News This Morning continues.
A 2-year-old boy died after he fell into a pen full of wild African painted dogs at the Pittsburgh Zoo. Zoo officials say the boy fell 14 feet off an observation deck above the exhibit. The animals got aggressive before zookeepers could scare them away.
A couple of the men around that area were running up to the dog pen and banging on the wood, trying to get the dogs to kind of leave the kid alone, telling the kid to run.
The zoo says the boy's mother put him on the railing so he could get a better look at the animals. He fell in seconds later. The zoo is closed for now.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know.
Most of us know that the health district has moved to a new location.
So why are taxpayers still paying bills for water, power, and more at that empty old building? Contact 13's Darcy Spears asked the tough questions in a You Paid For It investigation.
The lights are on, but nobody's home at 625 Shadow Lane.
The building's been vacant since April. That's when health district leaders shut it down, saying it was in danger of falling down. And even though no one's here, you're still paying for it.
I don't think it's fair to the taxpayers to be paying for a building that is vacant. They should just close it down and use that money and do something else.
So how do we make taxpayers who are struggling with high bills of their own feel any better about what they're paying here?
I don't know that I can answer that. I mean, we are dealing with a difficult situation, and we're doing the best we can to save the taxpayers as much as we can.
Just how much are the bills you're paying here each month? We'll break down the numbers in a You Paid For It investigation tonight on Action News Live at 11.
5:44 is your time. The day before Election Day. Looks like it's going to be beautiful in the valley. You see the sunshine beginning to illuminate the eastern horizon. Twinkling lights in the city. The wind looking good. I love the buffet there. They have the fresh sardines outside right now. Here we go. 63 degrees at McCarran, 61 degrees at Pahrump, 47 degrees Indian Springs, 73 in Laughlin, and 53 degrees at Mesquite. So a fairly disparate, grouping of temperatures around the area by almost 30 degrees in some spots. 63 degrees North Las Vegas. It is 57 in Henderson. 57 degrees at Della. Satellite imagery shows us to be clear as a bell, and that's not going to change for today. So with that in mind, sunshine, light winds, and I'm thinking 84 for the high. It was 81 yesterday, so even warmer today. Now, we do have some weather coming our way. It's not really going to happen tomorrow, nor is it really going to happen Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, that's where you'll see a big change. Got a big drop in the jet stream. This will cool us off and eventually produce a nor'easter in the eastern parts of the United States. But that's not until later this week. Election day in the east and northeast looks okay. Certainly beautiful here. 59 for your election day tomorrow, the overnight low, and then 81 for the high. Lots of sunshine, lovely weather, and then 79 post-election on Wednesday with lots of sunshine. Thursday, a few clouds, 76 gets windy, tail end of Thursday. Friday, cold front moves through, temperatures plummet to 60 with a chance for a shower in the valley, maybe a little light snow up Mount Charleston. Could linger through early Saturday morning. And then 58 the high for Saturday. On the backside of that system, clearing off, just 58 on Sunday, but a huge rebound in temperatures by Monday and 68 degrees. 5:46 is your time, guys.
81-degree election day weather. No excuse to not get out and vote.
That's rough, isn't it?
Yeah, really hard.
I was kind of thinking the day after will really be the sunny day, though. It'll be done, and yeah, that's the day that it'll feel really great. Hopefully.
You know, I'm still a pessimist. Yeah, we will see. It's time again to give away some staycations that include one night at the Station Casinos Hotel with a buffet for two, plus a Freddie card worth $100 at any Fabulous Freddie.
We love to give stuff away. Dave Santiago, Janice Baker, and Robert Weir, you each have 30 minutes to call 876-1301 and claim your prize.
If you haven't entered your name yet, text the word locals to 61749, or you can enter on our website. We'll call some more names in just about a half hour.
Such a pleasant Monday on the traffic front. Let's go to the Rainbow Curve now to find out how things are going, and much the same as the rest of the valley. Smooth as silk, so no problems up there. And 215 at Eastern would be another trouble spot that rears its head sometimes, but not at this point. Everything is fine.
Action News Problem Solver Traffic is brought to you by Attorney Ed Bernstein.
Enough said. Call Ed.
Taking a look now at some of today's other headlines. Finance ministers and central bank governors from the world's leading economies are headed home after meeting in Mexico. The G20 summit wrapped up yesterday. Among the main concerns, the global impact of Europe's debt crisis. Also, looming tax hikes or the so-called fiscal cliff here in the U.S. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner did not attend the two-day meeting. Boston mobster James Whitey Bulger is in the hospital. He was admitted yesterday after complaining of chest pains. Bulger was arrested last year after 16 years on the run. The 83-year-old is accused in close to 24 murders and racketeering cases.
We all have one, we all need one, and none of us think much about it until our hearts stop working. That's the case for a lot of kids. But a group of people in Southern Nevada are helping their broken hearts in more ways than one, making Las Vegas a better place to live for the 38,000 kids in our state with heart defects. Maya and Soleil are best friends. They were born just 1 month apart and live close to each other. But something else bonds them too. They both have heart defects.
I'm so blessed to have in my life and glad to be a part of. Really makes such a difference for my family when we were in the hospital and going through a really, really tough time. They were there to supply really great things and, above all, emotional support.
The Children's Heart Foundation helps families like these in a variety of ways. They fund a camp experience for the kids, and they fund cutting-edge research. Board member Dr. William Evans says not long ago these kids would have died. Now the survival rate is nearly 100%.
But there's much more to do. There's much more to understand, where and how do these problems occur. How do we take care of them better?
One of the simple ways the foundation works to take care of these kids is through these backpacks, stuffed full of necessities for hospitalized kids and their families.
You're in the hospital and you're wearing the same clothes for days because you didn't expect to be there. You thought you were coming in for a cold and then you wind up for a week or so.
As for the girls, they're doing well, though Soleil has an uncertain future. Still, these moms choose to focus on other families.
And we didn't know that there were other families out there going through what we were going through. You kind of just get hit with a truck and you kind of feel all alone.
Every family needs something different, and I think our foundation's become really great at finding out what each individual family and person, mom, dad, and child needs.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I was stunned to find out that 38,000 kids have heart defects in our state. Here's how you can help these children. Enjoy a cocktail party. That's easy. It's this Thursday night at Double Helix in Town Square. Details are on our website. And Money raised at that cocktail party will go to help these kids and their families.
It's amazing around here how many opportunities there are to help kids like that. And 38,000 though, that's still, you're right, that's stunning.
Yeah, with heart defects here in Southern Nevada, there's some great care happening right here in Southern Nevada for these kids, which is good. I'm glad they don't have to go out of state for all of their care.
And the work these moms do is so great.
Isn't
and
it
you
cool?
know, anything, I mean, even just a nice, you know, soap for those families that are sitting in the hospital for a week, and you know, just a shower and some soap is so helpful.
That's right. That's right. It's the little things sometimes. If you know somebody making Las Vegas a better place to live, shoot me an email. This is really your segment, and we are having a great time featuring the people you are most impressed with in our city.
And there's lots of them. All right, time now is 5:51.
Teen driver. She can't legally drive on the road without supervision, but we'll meet a girl already impressing arenas full of people with her driving skills.
High school hero. It wasn't all about statistics at one football game. Lisa and I love this story. Stick around to find out why this player did everything he could not to score, and he is being cheered this morning.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Glenn Lerner and Associates.
Glenn Lerner is the way to go. Call 877-1500.
5:55 now, and time to look at the hottest stories making headlines. Here's what's trending today. Late night host Jimmy Kimmel auctioning off his desk to raise money for the Superstorm Sandy relief effort. The custom-made Brooklyn-themed desk is signed by Kimmel, fellow late night host David Letterman, and Comedy Central stars Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart. All three were on Kimmel's show last week. You can bid on the desk at CharityBuzz.com. And this sure is one talented 15-year-old, Rosalie Raymer. Can't legally drive on her own, but she's already making a name for herself behind the wheel of a monster truck. The Phoenix native is saving her money from monster truck gigs to pay for college. Rosalie says she wants to be an engineer and study at Stanford.
Good for her. All right,
love her.
Time now is 5:55.
T-minus 1 day. It is the last day for President Obama and Mitt Romney to win over voters. We're going to check out their plans for the final day of campaigning.
That's coming up next on Action News Live at 6.
Injured in an auto accident? Call Harris & Harris Personal Injury Lawyers. Proven results.
Action News Now. Countdown to Election Day.
This is not your ordinary election. I see these kids on their parents' shoulders right here. I see various different generations here. It doesn't matter what generation you come in or you come from. This is the most important election in our generation.
America picks our next president tomorrow. This could be the closest election in history by some estimates. I'm Casey Smith. We're live with details on how the candidates are preparing.
And a new storm is brewing. Folks on the East Coast are still cleaning up from Superstorm Sandy, and this morning they're bracing for another round of wicked weather. I'm Beth Fisher. Details on when this latest storm is expected to hit.
And lending a helping hand. NV Energy employees are headed to the East Coast to help victims of Hurricane Sandy. I'm Lisa Remillard. We're live with the role they'll be playing as more than 1 million people are still without power 1 week after the storm. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to Action News this morning, the fastest way to start your day.
It is, as you know, election week. We hopefully will know who the next president of the United States will be by tomorrow night. Both major party candidates are working to secure last-minute votes in this must-win states this morning.
With polls showing the candidates in a dead heat, it could be the closest election in history. People all over the country really wondering what's going to happen this time around. It could go either way.
ABC's Tamon Bradley in Boston with the latest.
Good morning. Today is the final day of campaigning, and both sides think they can win. President Obama is focused on 3 key Midwestern states, while Mitt Romney spends his day in 4 states. Republican challenger Mitt Romney is closing the campaign, promising voters bipartisanship and real change.
I'll endeavor to find those good men and women on both sides of the aisle who care more about the country than they do about politics.
With polls showing the race a dead heat, the Romney campaign is focused on turnout. At this field office in Battleground, Ohio, volunteers call a list of voters they believe lean Republican, while other supporters knock on doors in search of people still undecided.
I haven't made up my mind yet.
The Romney campaign believes enthusiasm among its base and strength with independents will carry them to victory tomorrow. But there's still the reality of the math. Without Ohio, Romney's path to victory is difficult. That's why he's making a late play for Pennsylvania, traditionally Democratic turf. President Obama, meanwhile, spends his day focusing on 3 states the campaign hopes will be his firewall: Iowa, Wisconsin, and Ohio. If Mr. Obama can win these 3 states, that would give him 271 electoral votes, one more than needed to win a second term. Mitt Romney holds his final campaign event tonight in New Hampshire. He'll be joined by his wife, Ann, and rocker Kid Rock. After that, Romney heads here to Boston for the big day tomorrow. Reporting live in Boston, Tamon Bradley, ABC News.
Thanks, Tamon.
Now back to you.
Thank you, sir. Sorry I jumped in. We have much more coming up on the election throughout the hour.
But right now, we want to check on our weather first forecast, and we want to send it over to Mike Tsolinas to do just that.
Thank you, Lise. Happy Monday, and thank you for making us your choice for local news this morning. 6:02 is the time. We have clear skies. It's a gorgeous start to this back-to-work Monday, and here are your temperatures now. 63 at McCarran, the same in Pahrump. Meanwhile, 52 at Mesquite, Laughlin, quickly down to 68 after being in the 70s last hour. We have clear skies across the area now, and here's your day planning forecast. 79 degrees by lunchtime, and then 84 for the high with light winds. Coming our way, though, a big drop in temps, plus Election Day weather in just a bit. Now here's your problems to solve our traffic.
All right, thank you, Mike. We want to start things out right now at the 15 in Sahara. You can see it's starting to get a little bit heavier, but no accidents to report at this hour. Over to the 215 and Eastern. Same story, different camera.
We're following breaking news this morning. Another storm has its sights set on the northeast. We're just getting new details into our satellite center on a nor'easter. It's not a hurricane, but can bring strong winds, and there's usually heavy rain and flooding and waves, too. This storm is on track to hit the East Coast sometime Wednesday. It won't be nearly as strong as Hurricane Sandy, but nor'easters are winter storms and can really drop temperatures. Forecasters are predicting lows in the 20s. That could be devastating for the 1.5 million people without power and tens of thousands left homeless from last week's superstorm.
Everybody's working as hard as they can. The federal government, the state government, the city government. We have an enormous number of city employees who've been working essentially 24/7 to deliver food, to deliver water, to make sure that buildings are safe.
The death toll from Sandy has hit 110. The effects of this nor'easter will be pretty minor in comparison, but could delay hurricane recovery efforts. Millions are still suffering on the East Coast and can use all the help they can get. A repair crew from right here in southern Nevada is on the way to help save the day. NV Energy employees are on a military transport plane headed back east right now. Action News reporter Michaela Zern is live at Nellis Air Force Base, where the team packed up and headed out overnight. Michaela.
That's right, Casey. Well, with help from the U.S. Air Force and FEMA, NV Energy is able to send 3 crews over to assist in restoring power to the millions that are without still on the East Coast. A crew of 5 already left this morning. That's the crew that Casey just mentioned. 2 more crews will leave today. We were here this morning as they filled a C-17 cargo plane with equipment. The NV Energy crews will land at JFK and head to Long Island, where they will work for about a week, hanging wire and putting power poles back up. The pilot taking these crews to New York said he's honored to help out in any way he can.
It's heartwarming. I'm originally from New Orleans, so Hurricane Katrina was something that affected my family, so being able to go help people that were affected by a hurricane is something that's very important to me.
Now they're loading the last bit of equipment onto this C-17 this morning. This plane will leave at about 8 o'clock. Another cargo plane will leave this afternoon with another crew. NV Energy is sending 7 utility trucks and 11 crews from southern Nevada to the East Coast, and they will be on the ground this afternoon and probably already working. Like I said, they'll be there for about a week, and these 11 technicians actually volunteered to take this trip and to help out. So anybody contributing in any way they can here. Reporting live, Michaela Zern, Channel 13 Action News.
A lot of great people here in southern Nevada who want to help. Thank you, Michaela. It looks to be a lot more crowded on the New York City transit system this morning. New York's governor is warning everybody should expect bigger including students who will finally be going back to school this morning. The service is getting better, but New York officials say there is still work to be done.
Looking ahead today, Justin Caramonaco will learn his fate. He's accused of hitting and killing 12-year-old Faith Love while she was trick-or-treating in Summerlin on Halloween night last year. Caramonaco has pleaded guilty to driving under the influence. He'll be sentenced in just a few hours. Robert Bales will also be in court today. He's the Army Staff Sergeant accused of killing 16 Afghani civilians in a pre-dawn rampage back in March. Today's hearing will be held at the Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. The hearing will decide if there's enough evidence for Bales to face a court-martial in that massacre. His lawyer expects to claim that Bales was suffering from post-traumatic stress.
6:07 now. Up next, all work and no play. Millions of Americans are saying thanks, but no thanks when it comes to vacation time. What's behind that trend? And could it be there's finally an upside at the gas pump because the cost is going down? We'll see what we can expect at the gas station as the holiday travel season approaches. New this morning at 6:11, have you filled up lately? You may have noticed gas prices are trickling down. A gallon of regular is down about 10 cents since late last month. The drop is a combination of Superstorm Sandy cutting into demand and crude oil prices declining. Here's a look at where things stand this morning. GasBuddy.com's national average for regular is $3.50 a gallon. We're paying $3.68 here in the Las Vegas Valley.
The end of the year is just around the corner, and that means it's time to use up your vacation days, or for most of us, we'll lose them.
Well, listen to this. A majority of Americans, 57%, never use all their time off. That's according to a new study by Harris Interactive. At the end of last year, more than half of workers had an average of 11 days left on the table. The reason? People say they can't afford to pay for a vacation when times are tight.
That's very true. However, you know, maybe just stay home and just take the time. Everybody says when you take time away and step back, it kind of helps you do better in your job when you come back to work because you've been refreshed and re-energized.
That's a good idea.
Why don't you
I'll see you next week. Okay.
You don't get time off, sorry.
Oh, okay.
I say no.
6:12. Hacked. You might have seen some surprises if you logged on to your favorite websites over the weekend. Hopefully not, but we'll find out who was behind an attack.
And before we go to break, a look at the box office numbers at the movies. Wreck-It Ralph took in more than $49 million in its debut weekend. Denzel Washington's latest flick, Flight, soared into the number 2 spot with $25 million. And rounding out the top 3, Argo with another $10 million.
Good morning and happy Monday to you. 6:16 is the time, and it is just absolutely beautiful outside right now with the time change. Of course, sun's up an hour earlier, and so we can see those beautiful views. 58 degrees is our current temperature. It was 58 when we started this morning, up to 63, now back down to 58. A lot of variance in these temps. 63 degrees in Pahrump right now, and 52 degrees in Mesquite. 57 degrees Henderson, 55 at Nellis, and 61 degrees North Las Vegas. Lots of sunshine. That won't be a problem today. Light winds throughout the day. 79 is our noontime temp, and then 84 for the high. It was 81 yesterday. These above normal temperatures as high pressure sits atop us. Nice little offshore flow. Primo weather for this time of the year. Big changes, though, coming by the weekend. Got a big trough of low pressure that will push across the area. This will provide significant temp drops for us on towards the weekend. Look at this now. 59 tonight, 81 tomorrow. That's perfect, okay, for election day here in the valley. 79 degrees Wednesday. Nice weather. Here come your changes now. 76 Thursday as the front draws near. Winds pick up. The chance of a shower Friday in the valley. Maybe a little light snow in the mountains. Windy conditions, cooler temperatures. We drop nearly 20 degrees to 60 by Friday. It sounds like you guys are a stadium over there.
Yeehaw, here we go.
58 degrees this Saturday. It's like a Charlie Brown movie, you know. Ooh, boo, boo. 58 degrees on Sunday, and then 68 Monday. Most of the U.S. for Election Day tomorrow, good. Rain in the southeast, some wintry weather in the upper Midwest. Looks like the middle Atlantic states to the northeast dry, but then again, by Wednesday into Thursday, the nor'easter hits. But tomorrow looks okay.
At least we don't throw anything at you, Mike. We just boo you, but we don't.
Could you imagine?
You know, it's kind of like a reprieve. Remember the old days when it seemed like it got cold right at Halloween? I mean, we've had an extra week or so.
True.
A couple of days.
I feel like
I
a
like
Charlie Brown movie.
I'm going to start throwing.
Get him. Get him.
All right.
Here, let's get something heavy. Okay, 6:18. Time again to give away some staycations that include one night at a Station Casinos Hotel with a buffet for two, plus a Freddie card worth $100 at all fabulous Freddie locations.
Courtney Marquez, Hilda Diaz, and Ian Daniel. You each have 30 minutes to call us at 876-1301 to claim your prize.
We've already had 2 winners today. If you'd like in on the fun, there's still time. Text the word locals to 61749 or enter on our website. More names in about a half an hour. Right now, though, we're going to take you out for some problem solver traffic. We're going to start right at I-15 in Charleston, where everything's looking good this morning. Traffic is moving along just fine. Plenty of cars on the roads, but no problems to report. And at the 215 in Warm Springs on the east side, things are looking really good there as well. Speaking of the 215, we want to let you know that the ramps have reopened, but overnight there is some work going on at the airport connector ramps at the 215. They're going to be closed overnight for the next several days, so something to be aware of. But again, they reopen at 5 a.m., so things just fine on the roadways.
Time now is 6:20, a growing danger.
Bumper to bumper traffic and everyday accidents are a common sight on Interstate 15, but there's one area more dangerous than all the others. Coming up, what can be done to make 15 in Sahara safer?
Straighten up. Bad posture can literally be a pain in the neck, but a new study finds your slouch might also be making you a grouch. Researchers weigh in next.
You gotta keep your head up, oh, and you can let your head down, hey, I know it's hard.
This building's utility bills for the past 6 months have been more than $100,000, but nobody works here. Oh, and you paid for it.
Would you say to the taxpayers, sorry, but you have no choice?
Action News live at 11 tonight after Castle.
He promised hope. He gave us disappointment. He promised jobs. He gave us record unemployment. He promised to cut the deficit in half. Instead, he increased it. He promised to change Washington. Now he says it can't be done. He made a lot of promises. How can we afford to give him 4 more years?
I'm Mitt Romney, and I approve this message.
Parents and grandparents saved their hard-earned money to send future generations to college. Then Stephen Horsford took $4.2 million out of the Nevada College Savings Plans, financially weakening college savings plans for 10,000 Nevada families. Actions taken without permission. Actions that may have been illegal. Stephen Horsford. Actions that hurt Nevada families. Decisions that damage our future. Crossroads GPS is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Las Vegas is a vibrant city full of life. As it grows, so comes more traffic, more car accidents. Innocent people are getting hurt out there, and that doesn't sit well with me. As an injury lawyer, I see firsthand how lives are turned upside down. And when bad things happen to good people, they trust me to help rebuild their lives. I'm Richard Harris, and I have the hardest working law firm in the state of Nevada.
In the debate, I need another term to keep doing what I did in the first term.
Mr. President, I was hoping to hear you had a new plan, but all I heard was keep spending. I haven't made any mistakes, but your spending hasn't done a thing for my family. What do I tell my kids about the debt they'll pay for? About finding jobs? Mr. President, what about your first term tells me another 4 years would be better?
American Crossroads is responsible for the content of this advertising.
My life is better.
My life is healthier.
My life is active.
These people have one thing in common, and it's not a diet. They started at Surgical Weight Control Center and changed their lifestyles. Doctors James Atkinson and Darren Soom see positive outcomes every day from proven treatments like the gastric sleeve and gastric band. All weight loss procedures are performed at Desert Springs Hospital Medical Center, a bariatric surgery center of excellence.
Let my life inspire you.
These are tough times in Nevada, but not for John Oseguera. Oseguera spent $60,000 in taxpayer funds to install a state-of-the-art gym and add a conference room to his office. And last year, Oseguera started collecting his lifetime taxpayer-funded pension while in office. Double-digit unemployment, tough economic times. But for John Oseguera, no sweat. Defeat John Oseguera. American Action Network is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Walker's filling 28 homes with furniture for families in need. If you know of a family in need, please send a letter explaining their situation. Let's make this the best holiday ever for these special families.
Action News This Morning continues.
My mom always says, sit up straight, sit up straight. Bad posture may be doing more than just hurting your neck and shoulders.
See, your mom knew. She knew.
Yep.
I was reading this story in the newsroom and found myself kind of sitting up taller. New studies show that slouching could make you a grouch. Researchers from San Francisco State University found students who slouch are depressed more often and have lower energy. So stand tall, sit tall.
Yeah, whatever. Android celebrating a major victory, and are companies you use on a daily basis being hacked? Here's ABC's Rob Nelson.
In today's Tech Bites, keeping hacking a secret. The computer systems of major companies like Coca-Cola have been hacked in the past few years, but chances are you never heard about it. Bloomberg News reports the companies keep such news a secret. Many of the attacks originate in China. 3 out of 4 smartphones sold in the third quarter ran on Google's Android operating system. Apple's share of the market also increased, but the gap between Android and Apple phones widened. And there's now a Harry Potter game that uses Kinect on the Xbox 360. Games.com's Libby Goad says Harry Potter Kinect just seems like a rehash of other Harry Potter games, but it does have one special gimmick.
You can actually scan your face using the Kinect sensor into the game and actually kind of star as one of the wizards in the game.
The game also has 25 major scenes from the 8 movies. Those are your Tech Bites. I'm Rob Nelson.
Time now is 6:25, the final push. A little more than 24 hours from now, the polls will be open. But today, both candidates in the race for the White House are making a last-minute appeal to those very important undecided voters. We'll tell you what's on the agenda as the clock winds down.
Don't you know they're exhausted?
I bet.
They have to be. Headed out to help, local crews are on their way to the East Coast, bringing light and heat to thousands of people still in the dark after Superstorm Sandy. But now, another storm is bearing down. We're live with the latest threat.
Action News Now. One day out. President Obama and Mitt Romney are nearing the checkered flag, and it could be a photo finish if the polls are right. I'm Casey Smith. We'll show you the swing state blitz on Election Day Eve.
Help is on the way. A team of NV Energy workers is headed to the East Coast right now. I'm Lisa Remillard. Coming up in a live report, how they are helping those hit hardest by Sandy as another storm bears down.
Driving dangers. If you take Interstate 15 to work every day, you know all about the traffic and accidents.
Driving it on a daily basis is very scary because it's just so packed.
I'm Beth Fisher. Coming up, the area along I-15 you need to watch out for, the most dangerous section of this interstate to drive. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Action News This Morning, the fastest way to start your day.
We have 7 nonstop minutes of news, traffic, and weather for you.
Let's get it started with Mike Tsolinas and weather first.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone at home, for making us your choice for local news this morning. A beautiful sunrise, lots of sunshine out there today. And here are your temps to start you off. 63 in Prump, 58 at McCarran right now. And hello, Mesquite, 50. Lots of sunshine to light wind, 79. Your noontime temp today, and then 84 eventually for the afternoon. Now, it was 81 yesterday, so a little warmer today. Coming up, though, a big cool down and Election Day weather here and all across the U.S. But first, your problem solver traffic.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Let's start out at the Spaghetti Bowl. Our usual troubled spot, but everything seems to be moving okay at 6:31 this morning. Over to Boulder Highway in the 515, which shows you a smooth commute.
Red, white, and blue 2012. We are coming up on the final 36 hours of the 2012 presidential campaign. President Obama and Mitt Romney are both making last-minute appeals in battleground states. The president has 14 stops scheduled in 8 battleground states today. Mitt Romney will stop 14 times in 7 states. Analysts predict the election will come down to Ohio, Iowa, and Wisconsin.
If President Obama can win these three, on top of the solid blue states Democrats have taken in the last several elections, he'll have the 271 electoral votes he needs to win, even if Governor Romney sweeps all the rest of the battleground states.
So the big question is, which way are those battleground states leaning? It's a toss-up, actually, according to Gallup. 48% support each candidate. President Obama is leading, though, among registered voters. He has 50% support compared to Mitt Romney's 46%. It's actually the first time since Romney clinched the Republican nomination last spring that either candidate has reached the 50% threshold.
Now, Nevada doesn't hold that many electoral votes, only 6, but we've seen plenty of attention from both candidates. 21 visits to Southern Nevada alone. That's proof that both candidates expect this election to be a tight one. Further proof, Romney's right-hand man, vice presidential hopeful Paul Ryan, will spend his final few hours on the campaign trail at a rally in Reno. Romney's son, Craig, will be holding 2 rallies here in the Valley today. The first is at Romney's East Las Vegas campaign office just after 2:30 in the afternoon. Then Craig Romney will head to the Henderson headquarters for a rally that starts just before 5 p.m.
Well, some people won't be voting at their usual polling places back east. Voting areas moved and or combined in parts of New York City tomorrow because of damage caused by Superstorm Sandy. Millions in the boroughs of the Big Apple still don't have power. Election officials say they're worried about turnout because most storm victims are more focused on cleaning up than voting. And there is another storm heading toward New York and New Jersey, and that's just about the last thing those people need. The National Weather Service says an offshore storm that could pack wind gusts of up to 55 miles per hour could make landfall Wednesday. Meteorologists call it a classic nor'easter coming up along the Atlantic coast. It's not predicted to be as strong as Sandy, but it could make digging out of the damage even worse. The Weather Service says the strongest winds will probably hit eastern Long Island.
Thousands of people are still in the dark from Sandy. They're hoping the power will be back on before the newest storm hits. And crews from right here at NV Energy are trying to make sure that happens. A plane full of volunteers took off for the East Coast last night, and there is one more on the runway right now. Action News reporter Michaela Zern is live from Nellis Air Force Base with all the details. And there's that plane right behind you, Michaela.
That's right, Lisa. We've got a C-17 here, one already left this morning with a crew. NV Energy is sending 7 utility trucks over to the East Coast and 11 crew members from Southern Nevada to assist with those power restoration efforts. Millions, as you know, are still dealing with outages on the East Coast. And this is all in cooperation with the Air Force and FEMA. NV Energy is loading up 2 C-17s and 1 C-5 cargo planes this morning. They're transporting trucks, equipment, and crews to those devastated areas. The 11 technicians from Southern Nevada will be hanging wire and getting power poles back up in Long Island. Crews will have to deal with extreme conditions, but say they're ready for anything, and safety is a top priority.
Yesterday, when they were staging over at our operations center, they are chomping at the bit to get back in and help these folks get back in power. They love this. This is what they do every day, and they take great pride in what they do.
I'm going to stay right here and block the sun for you. We've got this C-17 behind me, just finished loading up with an NV Energy truck and more equipment and some crews. So they'll be headed out of here in about an hour to head over to the East Coast. And these crews will be on the ground by this afternoon. And I also want to mention the 11 technicians that are going over there from Southern Nevada. They all volunteered to go do this and volunteered to leave their families and friends and home for at least a week to help with these restoration efforts. So, you know, trying to help out in any way they can. Reporting live, Michaela Zern, Channel 13 Action News.
Thank you, Michaela. 6:36 now. A local woman who found herself directly in the path of Sandy is happy to be home this morning. Maria Veliz waited out the storm in her family's Staten Island home. Veliz found her old neighborhood had been destroyed after the storm passed through. Many were left without electricity or running water.
It was like walking through a war zone. It looked like somebody threw a bomb in Midland Beach and blew the whole place up.
After 3 canceled flights, Maria finally made it back to Las Vegas for the weekend.
Unofficial run. After thousands of people flew into New York, booked hotel rooms, and trained for months, the mayor canceled the world-famous marathon because of Sandy, but that didn't stop the runners.
Well, it was too late for many of them to cancel their travel plans, so hundreds decided to run the marathon route anyway. Others ditched their plans and spent the day delivering supplies to people impacted by the storm.
If you take Interstate 15, you need to watch out near the Sahara Avenue exit. Simply put, it's dangerous. Action News found that the Nevada Highway Patrol responds to I-15 and Sahara more than any other area in the valley. Just in the past 4 months, NHP reported 309 accidents happened there. That's an average of nearly 3 crashes a day.
The drivers are just not paying attention when they come up there. They're approaching it way too fast, not realizing that traffic is going to slow down, and unfortunately that's where the accidents are occurring.
We asked the Nevada Highway Patrol if anything can be done to make the area safer. Troopers say it really comes down to all of us. We need to be more aware, more defensive, and more patient. Time now is 6:37. Action News is just getting started. Up next, mending a broken heart. How some people are making Las Vegas a better place to live for kids with heart defects, and there's a lot of them.
We love this story. Touching touchdown. Any football player will tell you the game is all about the thrill of scoring a touchdown. But for one, it was the touchdown he intentionally didn't score that has him making the headlines. We'll show you his selfless act when we come back. Love it.
Action News This Morning continues.
President Obama will be breaking a sweat on election night, and it's not going to be because of the polls. He'll be on the basketball court shooting hoops instead of hanging out in the West Wing. Campaign officials say the president will most likely shoot some hoops like he did in 2008 when he was elected. Obama's former assistant will join him on the court. If you were hoping some Monday Night Football might give you a little break from politics, keep on hoping. The halftime break will include taped interviews with both President Obama and Mitt Romney. But I will say this, it may be a little bit different from what you've been hearing because ESPN's Chris Berman is handling the interviews, and he'll likely ask some different questions, right? Berman's not new to this. During the last presidential erase. That was just a little Freudian slip.
We like to erase all of it.
He interviewed then Senator Obama and Senator John McCain.
All right, for many high school football players, it's all about their stats. Touchdown, yards, tackles. But one player is proving that's not all that matters.
An Ohio football star giving up the glory of scoring a touchdown to help another player going through a very tough time. Michael Ferns just wrapped an undefeated season. The 17-year-old running back has committed to playing football for the University of Michigan. But it's a play he made last month that's making more headlines. He stepped out of bounds just 1 yard shy of a touchdown so another player could score.
Being able to make what happened happen, was more important than, some statistic in the record book.
Freshman Logan Thompson needed some cheering up. His father died of a stroke just 2 days before that game. The coach tried to talk Thompson into just sitting out, but when that player refused, Ferns came up with a plan to give him a night he would never forget. It was Thompson's first game on the varsity team, his first start, and that's great. Running back stepped out, you can see right there at the end, stepped out right at the 1 yard line and let that freshman score.
He's a hero. Athletes sometimes shouldn't be considered heroes because they're doing their job, but that is a hero.
Are you tearing up?
No, not much.
I teared
just
up
a little
I
bit.
teared
Just,
up when I saw the story.
It does bring, out emotion because, that's a selfless act.
Yeah.
Because, the kid's right. It's stats, but he is signed with Michigan, so he's got it in the bag and he says, I'm going to help out my friend here.
It's a great, great story. Good hope.
Yeah.
For, when you think of the youth, you think, I don't know, but then you see things like that and you're like, we're going to be fine.
Yeah, I think you're right about that, Lisa. Let's go take a look at your first weather.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful out there. Why wouldn't we get to it? 6:44 is the time. It's just gorgeous out there right now. It'll be beautiful all day long. Here's a look at your numbers coming in this morning. Sort of like a vote tabulation, isn't it? These are my numbers. This is what I have to work with. 58 degrees at McCarran, 63 degrees at Pahrump, 47 degrees Indian Springs, 52 in Mesquite, and 73 degrees in Laughlin. A little closer in, 57 Henderson. A lot of temps not reporting in this morning. 55 at Nellis and 61 degrees at North Las Vegas. The rest of today looks very comfortable for us and warm for this time of the year. How about 84 for the afternoon high on November 5th. That's warm stuff. Light winds throughout the area and sunshine should abound. We've got a big storm system that's going to track up the eastern seaboard for Wednesday and Thursday. That obviously does not affect us here with pure sunshine, but it will affect the north and east, as mentioned prior, for Wednesday and Thursday. However, for, the election day, things look pretty good out in the east tomorrow. 81 degrees, our forecast high for tomorrow with lots of sunshine, 59. The overnight low, 79 on Wednesday with lots of sunshine. So our election weather looks fantastic here. Thursday, partly cloudy, 76 degrees. And what will happen is we'll see a little front to dive our way for Thursday and Friday. That'll give us a chance for showers in the valley, maybe a little light snow in the mountains, windy conditions, and dramatically cooler weather with an afternoon high of just 60 on Friday. 58 degrees on Saturday. And, we'll probably clear off second half of the day. And then so Sunday, 58. With lots of sunshine, and then Monday all the way up to 68 degrees with pure sunshine, so we'll warm right back up. But, if you take a look really at today, 84, and then you go and you take a peek at Saturday, 58.
Oh,
You're talking, 25-degree temperature drop.
It makes me cold just thinking about it.
Agree.
Yep. Hey, fashion opportunity.
Yes.
You can pull out the sweaters.
sweaters and boots, people.
It's all about haberdashery, you know that.
That's right. Exactly right. And there's nothing we can do about it. So, okay, but there is something we can do about your comfort. Time to give away some staycations that include one night at the Station Casinos Hotel, buffet dinner for two, plus a Freddie card worth $100 at all fabulous Freddies.
All right, Victoria Hildreth, Chris Segura, and Gerald Gates. You each have 30 minutes to call us at 876-1301 and claim your prize.
If you haven't entered, there's time. Text the word locals to 61749 or enter on our website. More names tomorrow morning.
Okay, time for Problem Solver Traffic at 6:47. Let's say we take a look at the 15 in Sahara. We've been talking about it, and as you can see right now, it's okay. Not a problem at all this Monday morning. Let's go to 215 in Val Verde. Picking up steadily as folks start the commute in from Henderson, but also clean and green there. We haven't had any traffic problems to speak of all morning long. We do have one note, though. Partial lane closures at Nellis Boulevard, both north and south, from Desert Inn all the way to Happy Valley Avenue. They're happening from 10 o'clock this morning to 11:30, that is, tonight, so beware if you're on Nellis.
Action News Problem Solver Traffic is brought to you by Attorney Ed Bernstein.
Enough said. Call Ed.
A group of people in Southern Nevada are helping kids mend broken hearts, making Las Vegas a better place to live for 38,000 kids in our state with heart defects. Maya and Soleil are a couple of them. They're best friends. They were born just 1 month apart. They live very close to each other, but they also both have heart defects. Their moms both volunteer with the Children's Heart Foundation. That group funds research and provides backpacks for emergency hospital stays and emotional support.
And we didn't know that there were other families out there going through what we were going through. You kind of just get hit with a truck and you kind of feel all alone.
Every family needs something different, and I think our foundation's become really great at finding out what each individual family and person, mom, dad, and child needs.
Both girls are doing well today, though Soleil, who you see there, she has an uncertain future. Her health condition really has her parents concerned, but still these moms are choosing to focus their efforts on loving and caring for other families. I love that. Here's how you can help these children enjoy a cocktail party this Thursday night at Helix in Town Square. Details are on our website. You know, it wasn't that long ago these kids died. It really wasn't. I mean, 20 years ago, these kids couldn't survive with the conditions they have now. And now they almost have a 100% survival rate.
It's amazing what the medical technology has done to help these kids and the emotional things, the emotional support that these women and this foundation is doing to help probably also plays a little factor.
Yep, absolutely.
Very true.
All right, if you know somebody making Las Vegas a better place to live, Beth wants to know about it. We all want to know about it.
Shoot me an email, bfisher@ktnv.com.
Time now is 6:49. Up next, a final check of today's headlines, weather, and traffic.
Action News this morning. I'll be right back.
Good morning, 6:53 is the time. Happy Monday to you. It's going to be a beautiful day today in the valley, much as it's been over the course of the past several days. Lots of sunshine out there now. 63 in Pahrump, 41 Lee Canyon, kind of mild up there this morning. 58 degrees at McCarran and 52 degrees in Mesquite. So as we move forward now, close to 70, but probably not quite that warm at 9 o'clock. Lunchtime up to 79 with the light winds and sunshine, and then 84 degrees eventually for the high. Tomorrow, Election Day in the Valley, 81 degrees. Your high with plenty of sunshine, a little cooler Wednesday. Dramatically cooler by Friday, though, as a cold front moves through. A chance of showers in the valley, some clouds and breezy conditions with a high of just 60. Maybe a little snow up in the mountains Friday night into Saturday, and then clearing off late Saturday. Still very breezy, though. Sunday and Monday, lots of sun and warmer. Here's your Election Day map. Some showers in the southeast and wintry weather in the Great Lakes states, but other than that, pretty good across the U.S. 6:54 is your time. Here's your problem solver traffic.
All right, thank you, Mike. Let's start things out at the Spaghetti Bowl. Yeah, it's the normal, congestion thing happening there. Stop and go on both sides. Over to the 215 and the airport connector, you can see everything is traveling smoothly now, but keep in mind overnight until November 16th from 7 p.m. until 5 a.m. they're going to be closing down some of the lanes in that area due to some construction. So just keep it in mind. Right now it's fine. Your commute will be fine. Your evening commute will be fine, but just remember 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. parts of it will be closed.
Here are 5 things you need to know before you go this morning. The 2012 presidential campaign, which started about 175 years ago, will end in 36 hours and 5 minutes from now when the polls close here on the West Coast. It's a race to the finish for President Obama and Mitt Romney. Both are making last-minute appeals in battleground states. The president has 14 stops scheduled in 8 states. Mitt Romney will campaign in 7 states.
Another storm is setting its sights on the Northeast just 1 week after Hurricane Sandy hit. The nor'easter storm is not a hurricane, but it can still bring some strong winds. There's usually heavy rain, flooding, and waves. This storm is on track to hit the East Coast sometime on Wednesday.
NV Energy is sending crews to help restore power to areas affected by Hurricane Sandy. 2 are making their way to Long Island, New York this morning. Millions of people were left without power when the storm hit. 7 trucks and 11 people from Southern Nevada will help restore power.
Gas prices are finally going down a bit. The price of regular down 21 cents since late last month. The drop is a combination of Superstorm Sandy cutting into demand and crude oil prices declining. GasBuddy.com's national average is $3.50 a gallon. We're paying about $3.68 here in the Las Vegas Valley.
Robert Bales will be in court today. He's the Army Staff Sergeant accused of killing 16 Afghani civilians in a pre-dawn rampage back in March. Today's hearing will be held at Joint Base Lewis McChord in Washington State. The hearing is to decide if there's enough evidence for Bales to face a court-martial in that massacre. So here's what we've learned this morning as far as I'm concerned. We only have one more day. One more day, people, until this election. But like we've been saying, we're going to be talking about it for weeks more.
I do have one thing to say. We haven't really talked about it. The Rebel football team won on Saturday.
Congratulations!
Big win. Way to go, Bobby Houck. A lot of freshmen on that team. They should be good.
Injured in an auto accident? Call Harris & Harris Personal Injury Lawyers. Proven results.